there, Taurus. Welcome to your October 2018 love reading. It's Rena here. Well, before I even begin, I'm going to say that your ruler, which is Venus, is going retrograde in October. So for Taurus people and Libras, this can be more significant because both of you are ruled by Venus, and this can, affect your life in a more significant way. So it's actually happening. It's going to start in it's going to start in Taurus. No, it's going to start retrograding in Scorpio, which is your opposite sign. So that is the 7th house of committed partnership. So something is going on there where you are reassessing maybe the value of your relationship, what's going on there. Then it goes back into your 6th house. Maybe there's a connection between those two areas of work and marriage. But then it goes direct in mid-November. And you get that sorted out. And you guys have a full moon in your sign. And that is happening on October 24th. So that's kind of interesting too. I wonder about that one. Because again, the 7th house will be engaged. The 7th house is Scorpio, your opposite sign, and whenever there's a full moon, the sun is in the opposite sign. So when the full moon is in Scorpio, the sun is in, you know what I mean. When the full moon is in Taurus, the sun is in Scorpio, which is what's happening here. And yeah, so that can be a time when you kind of really realize what your needs are in a relationship. Maybe you've been codependent. Maybe you have been allowing your partner to have more of the, you've given in too much to them and you've lost yourself. That's a possibility. So let us see what we have here. I have been shuffling the cards very well, so that should be good. Interesting. Very interesting. Heart of the matter is Knight of Wands. This is a situation where you may be feeling a sense of, sowing your wild oats. And that could definitely be for some Taurus people, because we have here at the foundation card, the Emperor, which could be like a judgment from a judge. The Emperor is connected to Aries, by the way. When I said that, that sounded so weird because I always think of Capricorn. That should be Capricorn, but whatever. It's that kind of authority figure. It can be like, it's considered like the father figure. So in this particular case, there are many possibilities here. One possibility is that you are with somebody who's a womanizer who won't settle down. And it's possible that, in some cases, they could be the father of your child, or the Emperor could be the influence that you've had in the past, where your father, like you're repeating history, maybe your father didn't settle down with your mother, and you are attracted to this kind of guy. And there might be different reasons for that. That just might be familiar, where the same personality traits, because a guy who can't settle down has some nice traits. They may be a lot of fun. They may have like a real charisma about them. It's not that they're all just jerks or anything like that. They might have a lot of good qualities too that are very attractive to you. Maybe this guy is an Aries, because I always associate the Knight of Wands with Aries, and it's supposed to be Sagittarius. It's fire energy. The other fire sign is Leo, And we do have the Strength card next to it. So, you know, it's possible that you have this passionate thing going on. And yet, you cannot get this person to commit to you in a relationship. And I guess in some cases, I was even thinking that this was supposed to be a relationship, maybe even a marriage partner, but they're acting like they're a teenager, or they're acting like they're not, like a college frat boy or something, and not like they're really in that, you know, committed partnership, especially if you have kids and you feel like they should have grown up by now, and they haven't. The Knights usually refer to men who are under the age of, I don't know, 40s, 40 years old or something like that. But I don't like to assign age, because sometimes a young man, like if this was a knight, a king of wands, it could be a young guy in his 20s who's very mature for his age. I'm just getting distracted by that train. I swear, when the train goes by, it feels like it's coming through my living room. That's how, you know, close it feels to me. Oh gosh. I do apologize. I don't want to have to start this reading over again, and because I wouldn't be able to guarantee that another train wouldn't come by. So I do apologize for any external noise. I'm just going to keep going. And what I want to say about this particular situation is that if, you know, because I could definitely, I started this reading saying this could be a facet of you, which it certainly could be, that you are just like, I'm sowing my wild oats, I'm having a good time. Maybe you're, you've just gotten divorced and you feel like free for the first time in years. But I have a feeling that this is somebody you're involved with, because the challenge card is the Six of Swords. And this is a card of leaving a, you know, like a conflict, a situation that's full of conflict, and choosing peace, going to another location that is more relaxed and harmonious, and it can actually mean physically moving. But it's in the challenge position, so it means that you're not able to move on from this situation. And you may have real feelings for this individual, even if you're married to them and they have put you through a lot of hell. You may still have strong feelings for them. This is one of those times when you have to ask yourself why that is, why you have such a strong bond with somebody who has probably betrayed you. Maybe not a malicious person, but just somebody who has not gotten to the place where they're able to settle down, and they might be kind of immature emotionally, and therefore they just want to keep things light on the surface. Maybe they just are kind of a sexaholic or something, who knows, and they just want to go around and sleep around, or oh no, oh my god. And you know, it's so funny because the train hardly ever does that. Why does it have to be when I've gotten 9 minutes into a reading? Okay, I'm sorry, Taurus, but I'm going to keep going. I hope you don't mind. Oh my gosh. The higher message is the Strength card, and this is a card of, obviously, we're talking about confidence and having like the fortitude to handle some kind of emotional stress. But in your particular case, this could also be about a Leo person. Maybe this person is somebody who has always been in love with you, who has been a friend to you, and you've only seen them in that light. And And maybe they would love to have a chance with you. But this could also be that you are somebody that is getting stronger through these experiences, that you had to go through this experience. You might be saying, why me? Why do I have to deal with this? And it has something to do with you, because a lot of times people show us exactly who they are and what they want. It's up to you to understand this and to, you know, just decide whether or not you want to invest time in that particular situation. But to act like it's some kind of surprise might be a bit disingenuous. I'm not saying Taurus specifically, but I know that people, when they're going through difficulties in their relationships, that's not uncommon for them to feel this sense of frustration about the relationship, and yet they have all the evidence that this other person had no intention of settling down, and they didn't want to see it. And there might be a reason for that. I mean, they might have just simply been in denial, or they may have felt so strongly about this person, they thought, if only I can make them see a light and see how perfect we are together, that that person is going to, of course, want to commit to our relationship, commit to our marriage. And I don't have a problem with somebody trying to work on their marriage, but that other person has to want to work on it as well. So for the practical advice, the Ace of Swords is about seeing the light. New beginnings that are coming from having clarity of thought. Sometimes, Taurus, in order to gain that clarity of thought, you may need to spend more time alone. Stop talking about your relationship to people in your social circle, your friends and things like that, because they may be giving you conflicting advice, and they don't know your situation the way that you know it, and they're coming from their own perspective. Everyone, even if it's somebody who's a very close friend and you consider them your sister, that you're so close, that person has their own path and their own, karmic destiny that is separate from yours. Even though your paths have crossed, it doesn't mean that your choices are going to also be similar choices. And so rather than allowing yourself to be influenced by other people, it's important for you to keep your own counsel sometimes in order to get your head clear. And I think that you'll be able to do this by taking time for yourself, maybe journaling and going into nature, which Taurus is always blessed and lucky when they connect with nature, and just being honest with yourself about your feelings about your particular situation, of what are your what are the things that are bothering you, what are your hopes for the possible outcome, what would you like to see happen, and just having this sense of making things happen at a deep level, because you may still be in denial and not want to believe certain things, and continuing to keep this sort of mindset that's very stubborn. Actually, with this card, this can be a facet of you, which is a black and white rigid mindset of maybe like even marriage, like saying when you get married, you stay married. And I actually was talking to a Taurus person who was going through marital difficulties, and he was saying that, and I was saying, I just don't believe that, which I don't. I mean, I know that might be a teaching in some religions, but those religions are old religions. Even Christianity, which is considered relatively young at 2,000 years compared with Hinduism and even Buddhism. Buddhism is probably at least 500 years older. I might even be mistaken about that. Maybe it's older than that. But, you know, 2,000 years is a long time. So, but in those days, life was a lot different than it is now. So I don't believe, some things never change, but some things do change. And we have to be willing to see what relationships represent. Are they like prison sentence, you know, death sentences, or I don't want to say death sentences, but are they life sentences? Or are they two people connecting and agreeing to travel life's path together for the time being? Because we have no guarantees about how long people will be together. I realize that some people bail out too early, but on the other hand, I don't think that it serves us to just focus on relationships as, oh no, you have to do this and you have to do that. And that's what the Emperor is kind of about. That could be the Taurus stubborn mindset that's at play here, that's affecting your ability, which the Ace of Swords is, you know, supporting you in, to make a new start by seeing things as they really are. What's coming in is the Page of Wands. This could be a new relationship with a fire sign. Maybe it is that Leo person. But this can be good news that's coming to you. Pages can be messages. And you could hear this message again, especially, I've been saying to other signs, a relationship from the past may be coming into the picture once again. And because your ruler is engaged in this, that could be specifically helpful for Taurus people, because this would relate to your love life. I mean, maybe there's somebody that you've always held a torch for, even if you have gotten married to somebody else. And now that you're free and you hear from them, it's like your dream's coming true in that regard. So it's a message that brings you a sense of enthusiasm, and it may help you to move on. And the outcome, this is the Knight of Cups. This is an offer of love. This is what the Knight of Cups represents. This is this could be coming from that person. Maybe the person you're talking to them on the phone, after seeing them on Facebook or something you haven't heard from in 20 years, and that person says, you know what, I've never forgotten you. Never. Even when I got married, I knew that it wasn't the right thing. I knew I was making a mistake, but she got pregnant, and I always held a torch for you. And you say the same thing, me too. You know, I was just hoping that one day we'd get back together. I think we're twin flames. I think we're soulmates, you know. Can you tell I'm a hopeless romantic? I have Taurus rising, so Venus is my ruler. So I guess I'm, you know, I guess it's just part of my shtick, you know, is to root. I root for love. I really do. But you know what? I root for true love. I don't root for relationships that are fake, that are just done because the person is lonely and they don't know how to be alone. The best gift you can give yourself, Taurus, if you find yourself divorced, leaving a relationship, is to learn how to enjoy being alone. Whether or not somebody actually comes into your life again, because remember that this is a general reading. So I hope that if you have been pining away from someone, that you do hear from them, but regardless, that you are whole within yourself, that you're happy, that you can stand on your own 2 feet, and that you can feel good about yourself and happy whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship. That's what I hope for you. So on that note, yeah, I think it's wonderful. Knight of Cups can also be somebody who is a water sign individual. Maybe that's the person that you're hearing from. And that water energy is compatible with you. Your opposite sign is Scorpio, so there's one water sign. But then Pisces and Cancer. Those are the other ones. And yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this, Taurus. If you'd like a private reading, my website is rainamoonastrology.com, and the link is below for that. And I just want to say very quickly that my readings really do center on your natal chart, which hopefully you have your time of birth in order for me to bring that up. And then I can look at your chart. If you have another person that you want me to compare your attributes with, I can do that. I can just some people have certain scenarios and want to know how to deal with that. I do those kind of things, but it's always with a grounded perspective. It's not with just wishful thinking pie in the sky, because there are people out there who will prey on your vulnerability when it comes to that. And so you have to be careful when you want something so badly that you don't pay somebody to tell you what you want to hear, because it's very easy to do. It's, it's so easy to do because the person knows what you want to hear. And of course, if they tell you what you want to hear, you're going to just love them, aren't you? If they don't tell you what you want to hear, you may actually tell them that they suck, what kind of reading is this? So that's one of the reasons why it's important that you understand that you are in charge of your own life. You can't pay to have people tell you pie in the sky things. It's much more helpful for you to hear ways that you can help yourself, to empower yourself. Because our relationships aren't meant to be a crutch. We're here to walk with another person as a fellow traveler in life, not to rely on somebody to make us feel like we're lovable or to keep us from being lonely and things like that. That's an inside job. Nobody can make you not be lonely. You will feel lonely in a crowd, with people around you, because loneliness really comes from not knowing yourself, and also for other people not knowing who you really are because you've never allowed them in. And that is such an important point, is that you have to have the trust to let people in to who you really are without fearing that they're going to use that against you. And it's easier said than done, especially if you've been through, emotional trauma at the hands of another person. You can really feel that it's dangerous to kind of open up because you feel like they're going to exploit that. But that's just a fear that's based on you remembering the past, and it doesn't mean that you have to stay that way. Okay, Taurus. So have a wonderful month, and take care of yourself. Bye.